In the 1890s, Julia Tuttle looked at her land along the Miami River and dreamed. She provoked Henry Flagler to dream too, of a winter resort and frost-proof cropland that would depend on a railroad, his railroad. While Flagler dreamed, he acted, setting hundreds to work building the line that would end the isolation of Biscayne Bay. Across the bay, men named Collins and Fisher were dreaming of a winter resort on the sandy beach. Dreaming and dredging, filling and building, and something they had real genius for, promoting. By the end of World War I, the boom began. It was a boom that fed on the dreams of thousands of Americans, and it nourished those dreams. Taking their cue from the Jazz Age frenzy on Wall Street, thousands of people converged on Southern Florida's real estate, hoping to watch a small investment grow into a tropical fortune. They bought and sold contracts, not land. They paid only 10% of the contract price, and always planned to sell out before settling up. Gambling on a continuing increase in prices, they played for ever higher stakes. To the promise of handsome profits, other promoters added the allure of a glamorous lifestyle, strongly flavored with the exotic. Palm Beach had just become established as a winter playground for the very rich. Architect Addison Meisner had borrowed freely from Spanish and Italian styles to create the Florida Mediterranean look. Outside Miami, George Merrick began ripping out grapefruit trees to build what he called the perfect suburb. It was mostly Mediterranean, with some exceptions, and he called it Coral Gables. To promote Coral Gables, Merrick hired the silver-tongued orator William Jennings Bryan. Bryan, the populace, the champion of the small farmer and the common man, signed on for a fee of $100,000 to speak well of the climate and of the money to be made by investing in Coral Gables. If it was promoted with heavy-handed arguments and a deft touch of the watercolors, Coral Gables did get built, and homebuyers there became lords and ladies of diminutive castles in Spain and downsized Venetian palazzos overlooking man-made waterways and looked down upon by the fantastic Biltmore Tower. To the north, a popular price fantasy from the Arabian Nights was taking shape at Opa-locka. Nearby at Hialeah, Glenn Curtis and James Bright opened a racetrack in stylish disregard for the laws prohibiting gambling. In fact, bootlegging and gambling gave Miami's resort world its own role to play in the dream. The high-spending, freewheeling vacation land where laws could be selectively observed. Gamblers soon could also go to the dogs, and they could bet on a game imported from Cuba. The dreamers' sleep grew troubled, as a change in income tax regulations required speculators to pay real taxes on paper profits. Then construction was slowed when the only railroad had to halt traffic for repairs. Finally, a capsized ship blocked the harbor, the last remaining route for building supplies, and all construction stopped. Hopeful people looked for a revival of the real estate market in the winter of 1926-27, but they got instead a hurricane. damaged the stage set, but the show went on. A second railroad was completed, and the instant Arabs of Ubalaka, like extras in a Valentino film, swept down on the inaugural train and kidnapped the dignitaries after making arrangements for photo coverage. When the Depression began to still the economic pulse of America, South Florida appeared immune. As land speculation played out, the vacation industry grew lively. By selling the sunshine, the resort business prospered and became the chief packager of the dream. For that package, there was a new style called modern, moderne, or deco. It was inspired by the machine age, an age of airlines, ocean liners, streamlined trains, streamlined everything. Deco captured a spirit of determined optimism, and it advanced a nervous dream of prosperity just around the corner. World War interrupted this dream. The Art Deco hotels became barracks for recruits training under palms and on beaches. Thousands of soldiers, sailors, and airmen passed through the area before going overseas. Many remembered the palms and the beaches, dreamt of better lives, and returned after the war to make South Florida home. The relics of those times, dreams set in concrete, in stucco, in terracotta, are reminders that through decades of frenzy, of depression, and of war, people have come to this place with their dreams, and that despite the sham and flim-flam, the hucksters and hullabaloo, some real disappointments and setbacks, Southern Florida has seen a remarkable number of those dreams fulfilled.